Just when I thought I've argued some of the craziest theories ever with y'all, the powers that be really said, think again, girly. Thankfully for my mental sake, I'm always up for a challenge, and boy oh boy did today ever work the good old gray matter in my brain. Question for y'all, do you believe the theory that humans are just captives in an alien zoo? Let me know in the comments, and let's see if I can't convince you by the end of today. I suppose I should start with the very beginning of everything, since humans don't know how we came to be. We have thousands upon thousands of theories, and I'll elaborate on a couple of those more in a minute, but can any sciencey person say, without a doubt, how humans and the Earth formed? Yeah, I don't think so. And that's after so many hours of research that my eyes got tired. Here's a phrase I'm about to use a lot today. Let's compare that to little animals at an animal zoo owned by humans. They're abducted from their natural habitat, or otherwise displaced in their new one, and they get to a point where that's all they ever know. Sometimes you get families in zoos, and their descendants will never know what life is like outside of that realm. Humans have forgotten where we come from, assuming it's somewhere out in the universe, which is why we keep investigating the unknown, looking for our origins outside of our habitat here on Earth. Alrighty, if you don't believe me, let's break down the top theories of creation otherwise. For starters, there's Adam and Eve. I'm usually not one for Bible fairy tales, but elements of it would actually make sense with the alien zoo theory. Everything being descended from two people, the original beings that were brought to Earth to procreate and start the human race. They were banished from their first habitat and instead brought to this zoo. Alright, it makes sense. A popular theory is the Big Bang Theory. I swear the silly TV show with the same name has forever ruined saying that phrase, but I think the easiest way to explain this one is that it says the universe as we know it started with an infinitely hot and dense single point that inflated and stretched, first at unimaginable speeds and then at a more measurable rate, over the next 13.7 billion years to the still expanding cosmos that we know today. Existing technology doesn't yet allow astronomers to literally peer back at the universe's birth, so what we know about the Big Bang Theory comes from mathematical formulas and models. But it's still a theory. To find out the cause of the Big Bang, you'd have to assume a prior event that apparently had a universe spawning event. Perhaps the Big Bang not only amounted to the creation of matter and energy, but also the origin of space and time itself. In that case, it's difficult to talk about a logical cause. Until recently, some scientists held the view that the universe would someday recollapse, eventually leading to another bang, but we've since learned that the current expansion of the universe will probably never stop, so that idea fell out of favor. Some other scientists suggest that the Big Bang was caused by our empty four-dimensional space-time colliding with another universe that floats next to ours in a higher dimensional bulk space, but that's still only a suggestion. At the end of the day, we don't know how we came to be. So aliens transporting us here like zoo creatures makes a lot more sense in that context, doesn't it? Don't worry, I have more arguments to support my theory. Okay, here's a good comparison to follow that up with. What if alien abductions are just our alien guardians' way of checking in on this species they're babysitting to make sure we're all evolving well and healthily, and also to see what we're evolving into? Alright, let me go through my lexicon of abduction stories. Let's see, and then we'll explain some more. Grant Rollins of suburban Maryland was an average dude living a normal life until he got yoinked one night up into a spaceship. While he was up there, he went into this large cylindrical room, which was lined with vehicles on hooks along the walls. They were all what we consider human vehicles, mostly Japanese and German cars and motorcycles, but some of them kind of looked like American military vehicles, which would explain how aliens are able to blend in here on Earth and visit more often without leaving a trace. No obvious UFO stuff. Nothing crazy happened to Grant, just the usual tracker being inserted when he was brought back to Earth, which, you know, gotta make sure your pets are okay, and a little follow-up run-in with the Men in Black a few days later. Which it would make sense that Men in Black are the aliens' way of keeping tabs here on Earth. Okay, let's see, another case. Oh, how about Olga and Vladimir? The tech used to restrain the duo and perform what would have been very invasive surgery here on Earth to check on Olga's internal organs is beyond anything my brain can comprehend. The aliens seem to be taking samples from her body and like her insides, and they're using instruments to study all of her insides while they were still inside of her. Olga was only able to describe one instrument that looked like a pair of pincers, but it had 3 clamps, and after the strange procedures, the aliens closed up, sewed up her stomach, and there was no marks, no traces. So before the abduction, she had been bothered by stomach pains, and afterwards, never again. Which, alien tech. Alien healing. The husband and wife were asked how they function with the emotions we experience as humans, with the alien entities saying they don't understand why we as a human race haven't destroyed ourselves with how much we feel emotionally compared to like how they do. Also, by some mysterious manner, Vladimir lost his gray hair and his physical powers of endurance only got better after the abduction. Olga was cured of her chronic colitis, gained the ability to make a drunken man sober. Like, these are all things that the aliens were like, hey, you need this. Let us fix you. Let us help you. Also, oh, here's another case, Loretta Robertson. She was another abductee who had a tracker and signs of a checkup after being abducted. Now, she doesn't remember anything, she blacked out. But when she woke up in her car the next day, she had to pull round sticky items off her skin, especially around her abdomen. There was a round unknown stuck to her stomach that didn't have legs, and it was the size of a jawbreaker. Also, when she crushed it, where it was attached to her skin, redness poured out. Look, I could go on and on through my little lexicon, but these are signs of checkups and monitoring for human safety, and also helping us heal, which that's what we do with our animals in zoos. If you want to know more about any of these cases, by the way, I do recommend watching some of the other videos I've done specifically on alien abductions, because there's like a lot out there and there's so much detail that I'd be out of time. Okay, what if our insatiable urge to explore space isn't just about expanding our horizons or satisfying our curiosity? What if it's actually ingrained in us, programmed by those alien zookeepers? What if we still have that weird link to our origins, and we all know deep down it's out there in the vast unknown, so we're destined to keep looking for it until we find it? Just how a lost pet will look for their owner. These stubborn humans are looking for, well, something. I mean, think about how we're always reaching for the stars, sending out probes, dreaming of colonizing other planets. It's like we've got this primal itch to break free from our cosmic enclosure and see just what else is out there. But why would the aliens want us to explore space? Or why wouldn't they stop us? Maybe it's all part of their grand experiment. Maybe they're curious to see how we'll fare beyond the confines of our little blue bubble. Will we stumble upon other civilizations? Will we find new worlds to call home? Or are we just gonna crash and burn, proving once and for all that we're just idiots in another failed experiment in their intergalactic menagerie? Yeah, maybe that's why we're so obsessed with space. Maybe deep down we know that our destiny lies among the stars, not just here on Earth. We're searching for those answers, for the purpose, for our place in the cosmos. And hey, maybe one day we'll break free from our alien overlords and carve out our own path among the stars. And until then, we'll keep reaching for the skies, fueled by our insatiable curiosity and the tantalizing promise of what lies beyond. Which brings me to my ancient alien theory, or ancient astronauts, depending on how you'd like to work things. It refers to a specific set of beliefs that intelligent extraterrestrial beings visited Earth way back when and made contact with humans in antiquity and prehistoric times. So a lot of history things, a lot of really factual things suggest that this contact influenced the development of modern cultures, technologies, religions, and human biology. A common position is that deities from most, if not all religions, are extraterrestrial in origin, and that advanced technologies brought to Earth by ancient astronauts were interpreted as evidence of divine status by early humans. Take for example the origins and composition of the Great Pyramid, our oldest wonder of the world and its slightly less famous kin. Well, they've long confounded scholars. Well, some believe that construction workers may have used large ramps to transport the stones that were used to build the big thing. This theory has been largely disproven because there's not a lot of archaeological evidence to support the claim. So, aliens must have constructed the pyramids, and there's a lot of theories about that. Look, it's true, it would have been difficult for humans to build these big things, and there's not really a lot of historical evidence of how they were built. So if we're gonna cite this, as well as the architectural and scientific questions that surround all pyramids, a lot of folks, myself included, have proposed that aliens came to Earth to help kickstart civilization. And now they just watch us and go, haha. Look, if we're citing these theories, the aliens were instrumental in helping the ancient Egyptians build their masterpieces, and a lot of other masterpieces around the world, but I only have so much time. Believers like me argue that in order to design the pyramids as they are, you would need a bird's eye view, the kind that could be provided from, I don't know, flying saucer? Also that in order to create an object that obeys the so-called golden ratio, which is a mathematical relationship based on the special number phi, the Egyptians would have needed some help from the outside sources. And also, you can't talk about pyramids without talking about helicopter hieroglyphs. Come on. Depictions of modern crafts found in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs have been hailed as proof of time travel and ancient alien civilizations for as far as I can remember. I've heard about this since I was little. So for folks like us, hieroglyphs appearing to resemble planes and helicopters in artwork done thousands of years ago, well, it's gotta prove for me that the ancient Egyptians were visited by beings who brought them advanced technology from the future, or just from beyond our world. If the ancient civilization was putting helicopters and modern spacecrafts in their artwork, they must have seen them, or at least observed images of them. So they learned it from somewhere. At the end of the day, it's just proof that aliens have been visiting and observing for ages, like those spacey zookeepers that they are. Alrighty, I can't believe it, but I'm already at my final point for today. You ready? All the times that we find UFOs and other unexplainable stuff, it's a littering accident. Think about it, every once in a while we stumble upon these weird artifacts or spot strange lights zipping across the sky. You know, the UFOs? And I think it's just like finding litter at a real zoo. Yeah, you heard me right. Like, it's like the aliens are leaving behind their cosmic trash for us to find, just to mess with our heads, or by accident. Think about it. If you were visiting a zoo and dropped your candy wrapper on the ground, you wouldn't stick around to clean it up, right? You just keep on strolling, let the zookeepers deal with it. Well, I think the aliens are doing the same thing with their UFOs and artifacts. They're just leaving their cosmic junk lying around for us to stumble upon, like some intergalactic Easter egg hunt. Look, I'm not saying I would ever litter on purpose. I wouldn't. But like, let an example be an example, please. And like, once again, I think they're doing it on purpose. It's their way of saying, hey, we're watching you. Or they're bored and looking for entertainment. Either way, it's like we're living in this giant game of cosmic hide and seek. And the aliens are the ones hiding while we're scrambling to find them. Also, here's the kicker. Just like how finding litter in the public doesn't really tell you much about the person who dropped it, finding alien artifacts or spotting UFOs doesn't really give us any solid answers about who or what these aliens are. They're just there. They're like, hey, we're here, we're letting you know. Have fun with that. And that's it for me today, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident Nookie Spooky Girly. I hope I convinced all of you lovely spooky people of my theory, and I'll see y'all next time.